some of the best talents, they don't actually have the best of the best resumes. Ikaw ba? Do you have the best of the best resume? Hi everyone, my name is Allison. I am the Chief Talent Officer of Boomering, and it's my turn to be on the hot seat for Shorting with Boomering. I have a few questions here, not on my own accord, but yes, I am here. Okay. At what point does recruitment become talent acquisition? Is there actually a meaningful difference? What kinds of roles are you able to source candidates for? Okay, so previously we call talent acquisition recruitment, right? Because recruitment in its sense is when you hire people, you recruit people, etc. But right now, what we call it is talent acquisition because it is the talent that's the very core of why we do the hiring in a sense. And the follow-up question is there actually a meaningful difference? Yes, there is a meaningful difference because recruitment per se is just recruiting people. It's recruiting for whatever role. It's recruiting or filling up the seats. But today, and in Boomering, we do or call it talent acquisition because it's the talent that we actually hire. And talent for me, it's not just about the skills or the experience. It's more of right now or in our department and in Boomering, talent consists of an intersection of character, capacity or capability, and coachability. And that's the very core of the business or the department's objective. It's the talent. And that's basically the meaningful difference of or between recruitment and talent acquisition. And the next question is, what kinds of roles are you able to source candidates for? Okay, so the type of roles, it's an amalgamation of everything. It's exactly what the client needs, right? And there are instances when clients come to us or clients come to the salespeople, nevertheless. They come to Boomering knowing exactly, or they think they know exactly what they want and what talent they want to hire for. But it is upon us and it's upon Boomering and the people inside it to actually guide our clients on who they should be really hiring for. What talent do they actually need? Because these talents are very important. Because these talents will be the ones that will help them grow their business, make them more successful, and basically fill the roles that they actually need, if that makes sense. Specific industries, we are not really limited on one. We hire exactly for what we think is best for the client. Sometimes they come to us asking for, say, an outbound sales representative, but exploring more, we would be able to investigate or we would be able to understand that there's more to it. It's not just the outbound calling. It's not just about appointment setting. What they actually need is someone who can build their business and grow their business more from the lead generation down to appointment setting, up to the cold calling, up to ensuring that these leads are all in their systems and etc. Well, going back to your question, it's really not just contained in one industry. It's not just contained in one niche. Plus, you have to also note, once the business grows or as we deem necessary, we could also propose to our clients that, well, I think it's best if we hire someone for this and that role so it could also help your business grow more. Okay. Next question na ba? Nahihirapan ako Okay, this next question comes from Curious CEO 2026. I hope he's very curious. How broad is your candidate network? Could you help hire everything from customer support to engineers and executives? I am proud to say that currently we have about 90,000 profiles in our system, and that is growing. And that is how exactly broad our reach is. And these candidates do not just come from the platforms or job boards, etc. It's a combination of people who have come to us, whom we actually also hired, who have become part of Boomering, and who have endorsed Boomering to their friends and anyone in their circle. So it's a combination of everything. And could you help hire everything from? Yes, we hire everything from chief levels down to managers, to supervisors, and to your rank and files. No niche is singled out. No industry is even singled out. And like I said, or probably you must have heard earlier, anyhow, it's more of growing the business with our clients. It's more of understanding exactly and proactively understanding what their needs will become in the future. So even before the need arises for the client to hire, say for example, an SEO specialist or expert in that very field, we would recommend to the clients before they could even think of hiring someone for that role. Next one. Naku, ang hirap. Si Rufa May Quinto. Charot. Resume Quinto. Very creative ang name. So, from Resume Quinto, is it true that computers or AI filter applicants before humans? The good thing about AI now, anything that does automation, it makes our lives as recruiters very more efficient. Repetitive tasks are being automated, etc. The thing is, yes, it can filter, but we don't just rely on AI to filter. Remember this, AI will never replace human judgment. Yes, technology will evolve. Yes, processes will be improved. And this will all because of AI. But human relationships, trusts, building trusts, you gotta remember, these are things that AI cannot replace. So, yes, it can filter, but it will not replace. And if you're asking, again, going back, AI filter applicants before humans, it can. But then again, we just don't rely on AI. Because here's a funny thing. Some of the best talents, they don't actually have the best of the best resumes. Ikaw ba? Do you have the best of the best resume? Right? Now, I also ask our recruiters to go beyond what the resume says. If there's something about the resume that intrigues you, or if it ticks 8 of the 10 boxes and you feel good about this resume, go ahead, talk to this person. Because it's not just about the skills or the experience that you're gonna find on the resume. It's about the coachability. It's about what this person can do in the future to be or retain still in your business and grow with you in the future. Okay, I hope I made sense. Next one. From Summer Saunders, what's the biggest cultural adjustment clients need to make when hiring Filipino talent for the first time? How important is culture when interviewing, or better to focus on skills, knowledge, and experience? Well, I guess it's not just about culture, and it's not just about being Filipinos, right? You get to be judged every single time. Not just about your color, not just about your race. It's all about yourself. It can't also just be because you're a Filipino, right? If you're asking about cultural adjustment, that's quite tough. Culture differs from different countries. That's given. That's a settled fact. Now, insofar as the Filipino talents are concerned, I would say that we are one of the most adaptable, very adaptive nation. Is why I'll give you some financial global whatever. From the history, 2020, it was only 4% of the GDP of the Philippines accounting for BPO. So now, currently, it's already 8% of the GDP of the Philippines. That's accounting for the Filipino talents. Meaning, these are what we actually get or gather financially from the offshoring business. Why does that happen? Like I said earlier, We are one of the most adaptable nations globally. So instead of the client adjusting culturally, what Filipinos are actually good at is we are the ones adjusting culturally to our clients. Right? Now, how important is culture when interviewing, or better to focus on skills, knowledge, and experience? I said about being judged. The thing is, culture should not actually be the singular or the single thing that we should be focused on. I guess, and by experience, our clients do not really focus on culture. They focus more on the skills and the character of the people that we introduce to them. We're not in 2001 Anno Domini anymore, right? It's 2026, guys. And I guess cultural difference is not really something that people focus on anymore. Okay, next. From Johnny Burns Cash. Which jobs give the fastest ROI when offshored, and which ones should stay in-house until later? But if you're gonna ask me, I think the better question is, what are the roles that are more offshored than those that can or probably may stay in-house? Look, we help our clients by ensuring that they don't cash out a lot of money by the talents or the people that they hire onshore. That's exactly how we help them. It's being cost efficient by getting the same, if not the same, more results than what Filipino talents can offer the clients. You don't really judge or talk about getting more ROIs. I don't think there is something or there's an answer to this. I guess really it's more of what the clients can benefit more. Does that make sense? Because I really don't think there's some more ROI from one role to the other. However, there are also still roles that you cannot actually and directly offshore, right? Those, for example, I have had an experience. Of course, you cannot ask someone to just do video calls so someone can check how the engineering or the construction of whatever building or residential commercial building that they are doing or what, right? You can't do that. There are still roles that should remain onshore, and probably about 90% of the roles can be offshored. Okay, next. Napapagod ako. Madami pa ba to? Hoy! 26, number 6 pa lang tayo. Okay, from Omid Hoggard. What does a world-class offshore TA operation do differently? In Boomering, this is how we do things differently from other offshoring companies or other BPOs out there. Once we receive a resume, we don't just look at the resume as if it's a single piece of paper or something that we see online, whatever. It's not about that. It's a talent that can be or will become a part of the client's success, someone who will become an asset to Boomering and to the client also, and someone who will be able to build his dreams and become successful in Boomering. That's how we do things differently compared to the others. Okay, from Michael Thompson, what is the best advice for businesses hiring offshore talent for the first time, particularly when conducting interviews? We have had several clients who never experienced offshoring before. I don't really directly talk to the clients every now so often, only when I have the opportunity, which every time I do, I seize that opportunity. And every time I do, I tell this to them. Always look for the potential. You cannot just look at someone's resume and just look at it as is. Talk to these candidates. Look for the potential. It's always so easy to fill a role right at this moment. But you know what the hardest part is? You have to actually know. You have to understand this person's character, this person's experience, all of the person that makes up a person, basically. And make sure that this person will still be with you in the future building your business. That's exactly what I should be telling everyone. I hope my future clients will see this, but I hope that's what they do. Because the thing is, it's probably human nature. Someone is, for example, you meet someone new. You only just look at the person, first impression, how he dresses up, how he talks, that's it. But if you spend a little more time, that's exactly how you're gonna know if this person is going to build the business with you in the future. Probably that's it. And particularly when conducting interviews, during interviews, you have to do skills, questions on skills, questions on character, and questions about the future. Who will they become? What they can become in the future with you as the client. But going back, like I said, skills is still important. You just really have to balance that with character and the coachability that I was talking about earlier. Next, from Ashira Ladonay, ako naman mag-interview sa'yo. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I have been in Boomering for 6 years. And this is always my spiel to my interviewees. Every time I introduce myself, hi, my name is Allison. I have been in Boomering for 6 years, loving every second of it. And I hope to be in Boomering for 6 years times 6 years and more. So if you're gonna ask me where do I see myself 5 years from now in Boomering, probably doing the same thing here with you, Alain. I have other goals. For example, taking the bar, passing the bar. But I have told this to myself, promised myself, and told my boss, Brohan. I call him Brohan sometimes, by the way. Okay, so I'm still here in Boomering. Of course, not doing the same thing because once I entered Boomering, basically every company that I have entered, which by the way, not too many, this company would have to be one, very first was healthcare, second was automotive, third was retail, and this is the fourth one, Boomering. Every single time that I enter a company as a newbie, my very goal is, of course, not just to learn, be able to adapt to the culture, be able to succeed in the role, help others, etc. My very goal every time is to create leaders who will lead and be able to successfully really lead, genuinely serve people, even without me in it. By that, I'm saying I'm not going to be in the same position in the next 5 years, of course, because I have made it a point and my life goal to build leaders, multiply leaders just like I am. So in the next 5 years, I will still be in Boomering because I love Boomering. I love the people. I love what I do in a sense that it gives me the fulfillment. I will not be in the same position for sure because like I said, I have other goals. Pass the bar, be your legal counsel. Probably not just for Boomering but personally also to everyone in Boomering. Pro bono, I already promised that. Depende sa kaso ha. Depende sa kaso. Anyhow, so there. I will still be here in Boomering, helping people and building dreams. Next, you still ask, how do you describe the color blue to a blind person in an interview? I have never asked this. Have you ever been asked, you guys? This question is targeting basically the ethos and the character of the person. This is actually a good question. And if I was gonna answer this, right? If I was gonna answer this, because I love color blue. To me, blue is soft. To me, blue is something you can probably hold on to or lay your head if you're feeling, sasabihin ko sana, if you're feeling blue. But it's like, well, I love blue, like I said, right? My first car ever was color blue. That's how I love blue. Anyhow, I don't really ask this question, but again, if I was gonna answer this, it would be something that soft, something that you could lay your head when things inside you don't feel right or something to that effect. But no, we don't ask this. Next question. How can you tell if a candidate is genuinely a good long-term fit versus someone who's just really good at interviews? This is very tricky. Very, very tricky. I, for myself, in my 16 years of working experience, of course, that's not all throughout the recruitment. But till this day, look, there are people who would be really good at interviews. There are those who are not really good at speaking and not really good at selling themselves, but those are the real gold. What we do is we look for the very minuscule red flag. Sometimes these people break. They do. And you just have to be very open to that very opportunity. When that very single opportunity comes, you will actually be mesmerized by a lot of interviewees. Like they could sell you a pen for 1 million pesos. That kind of good, right? And remember, when you're doing any interview, it's really about selling yourself. And some interviewers just miss that red flag. So, what I always tell myself, my team members, also myself, I just really have to be vigilant, very observant. Anyone can crack anytime during an interview. So, be very, very observant for the very minuscule red flag. That's it. Si Tom Cruz yun. From Tito For You, may hiring po kayo? Yes, we do have hirings. Currently, we have all roles for you guys, from sales roles, from human resources, from customer service, accounting, engineering, architecture, even AI automations architects, we have them. So please click the link below for our available career opportunities. So this is from a manager. Offshore recruiters are the worst. It just seems like they are processing mode and don't understand the roles they are looking to fill. Complete different experience than working with US-based recruiters. I beg to disagree if this is something for Boomering recruiters. Yes, and you, manager, I will find you. I will scorch the whole earth if you're referring to any of our Boomering recruiters, charot. Anyhow, well, we may not had any experience of having a team member, a recruiter for that matter, who would be rude, who would not be knowledgeable even for the position that they are hiring for. In our department, we have made it a point to actually, before a recruiter can do the interviews, they are well prepared. We have been investing our time in training people, coaching people, auditing people inside our department. So these kinds of comments do not happen and they are not given for recruitment. This is heartbreaking. You know why? Because of course, we don't just represent Boomering recruitment. We're actually representing recruitment as a whole, right? And it breaks my heart. Of course, it breaks my heart to read such comments. Maybe what you guys can do is go to Boomering as a recruiter and then we will train you how to become a good one. Charot. Okay. Their jobs aren't real. They just want resumes to sell your contact info. Often black web stuff. No. We are very strict with data processing. We are very strict with data confidentiality. Before even someone can submit their resume, we gather their consent. And if in the event that if, for example, this is a referral or probably the resume was just from the email that they found online, etc., and it reaches my email or any other Boomering recruiter's email, before the interview happens, we get consent. Okay? We are very strict on data privacy here. So that's not gonna happen in Boomering. Next. Has anyone here outsourced their candidate sourcing before? Alright. So this is from our recruiting, and he said, I have so many roles to fill and I am back to back in calls, so I don't have time for sourcing. Has someone used a tool or freelancer before to take over your sourcing work? So, Mammoth Juggernaut 25 said, I actually just started looking for a freelancer to help me source. I decided to try the popular freelance sites and made a rookie mistake. I gave into temptation when I saw sourcers with insanely low hourly rates. Literally less than $10 per hour to offshore it. I evaluated 6 people, all with extensive verified track records and excellent reviews. I did a short evaluation, gave them the requirements, and asked for 5 LinkedIn profiles that they think aligned well. A whopping 0 of 30 met the requirements. I am going to adjust my search a bit, see what's possible in the $20 to $30 range. So I would recommend these sites as one route. Just don't make the mistake I did. I am not going to discount the fact that people make their living out of whatever source, right? But there are always proper ways to do things. Some people would actually go for the cheaper ones, but you get what you pay for, right? It's easy to say you get what you pay for, right? But Boomering is not too expensive. We are not on the premium rates of talent sourcing. We are not at the highest, but we actually give premium quality candidates. And what's different about this? Some freelancers, well, I don't know them. I'm sorry, I have to comment about what they have done, etc. But the thing is, it's the business model. It's what Boomering believes in. It's what the goal of the companies are, what the goals of the companies are, and the mission and the vision of Boomering. And that's exactly what we live every day, what we live and believe in every single day. It's not probably about just the cost. It's the very mission and the very heart of what Boomering believes in. So we are not comparable with the freelancers or the cheaper sourcing resources, etc. We're far from that. And so, if you guys are looking to jumpstart your career, build your dreams, and be part of something meaningful, please click the link below for available careers here at Boomering. This has been episode 3 for Shorting with Boomering. It's been very hard. The questions were very hard. They did not rehearse with me for anything for all of the questions. It was so hard. Anyway, this has been Allison for Offshore Thing with Boomering. Thank you so much.